Hello, my name is Sonja van den Ende. I'm an independent journalist from the Netherlands, living in Russia, Moscow, because I'm in exile, I'm a dissident. When I was reporting from the special military operation in the Donbass, I was not allowed to go back to my country anymore. But today I will want to give my presentation about the Ukrainian biological laboratories posing a threat to public health also in Europe. Maybe it's known or not known, but many wounded or injured Ukrainian soldiers are treated in the US Air Base Hospital in Ramstein, Landstuhl in Germany, but also in other places in Germany and other European countries like France. But the main hospital is in Germany, in Aachen. It's called the Luisen Krankenhaus, Luisen Hospital. And it became one of the main places for the concentration of injured Ukrainians, where they receive help. But recently, the clinic's physician, Julia Tarsis, said most soldiers have problems with drug-resistant infections. So that's very weird, of course. And one patient who was there, was a German one, said, I had a very serious bacteria, which I picked up, nobody knows, but most likely in this clinic. And there is no cure for it at all. It sounds really frightening to talk about mass antibiotic-resistant infections among Ukrainian soldiers. And what John already talked about, the recent scandal involving US biological weapons in the Ukraine, and which has long been denied by the US and also Europe. But recently, as you mentioned, John, the United States Victoria Nuland was in a hearing with Senator Marco Rubio, and she was asked if there are biological laboratory in Ukraine, and she had to confirm it because it was on the website. So she said yes, but straight away she said, we are very concerned that the Russian troops who are now with the special military operation take control of what recently was Luhansk. And what we can do, and we must prevent any the research materials falling into the hands of the Russian forces should they approach. She claimed that the labs were only for research purposes. However, the revealed facts, all the documents, what the colleague from Luhansk said during the special military operation, contradicted this statement. After all, in addition to the fact that the sanitary and epidemiological situation in Ukraine has deteriorated significantly over the 15 years since 2005 already. And they have several diseases like brucellosis, Congo-Crimean fever, West Nile fever, African swine fever. And this is very, very unusual in the areas of Crimea and Luhansk and Donetsk. And of course, these laboratories are located and established in exactly those areas where the diseases are now spreading or spread before. But the main part is that these Ukrainian soldiers who were fighting there, or the mercenaries, are also most likely infected. And also they did experiments with these most terrible diseases, as I said before. So this Ukrainian soldiers who are now treated most likely in Germany, Aachen is what we have proof from, other countries, France also, because the new health minister went on his first day that he was the health minister, he visited not hospitals with his own French citizens, but Ukrainian soldiers who were lying there. So it's a very dark secret of how many actually Ukrainian soldiers are treated there. Nobody knows, and they will not tell. So it's quite contradiction, because it means that Europe is very happy to help with weapons, but it's not ready to take care of the wounded soldiers, or maybe there are also some citizens, because as we know, there are a lot of Ukrainian refugees now in the whole of Europe. But actually, when they proudly announced tens of thousands of hospitals admitted in Europe, then there will be, of course, a very outcry under the population. So they keep it a dark secret. And this is very terrible. So I think it's a threat to Europe as well, mainly to Germany, France, the Netherlands, the whole of Western Europe. As we saw already with the COVID-19 crisis, it was already a threat, so nobody knows what these soldiers are carrying with them, and we don't know because they're all resistant to this antibiotica. So this is very, very serious business. So it's not concerning like we say, the Iran or the Middle East, but also now actually the whole world, also in Europe, and of course Europe, who are in favor of Ukraine, will not come forward to everything they know. So it should be come in the open how many soldiers are actually there and what we can do about it. And also in Poland, you know, this is the country with the most foreign mercenaries, and they are increasingly on the Ukrainian front. And in November 2022, Poland began to admit losses among the volunteers and many, many wounded. And of course, they will not let their wounded mercenaries in the Ukrainian hospitals. So they now actually also gone to Polish hospitals and to German hospitals. So you see, it's increasing and increasing, and it's Warsaw is very silent also about the sanitary losses and infected soldiers. So meanwhile, they are probably large, while the Poles clearly prefer to evacuate their wounded to Poland and not leave them in overcrowded Ukrainian hospitals. So there are a lot of infected people also in Poland. So that makes the whole picture: Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, France. So we just have to wait until there will be a new kind of disease spreading around in Europe. So, well, to conclude, it's not the first, of course, terrorist act is what I call it, from the US, but also from Europe. I was before in Syria, and I know before in Iraq there were many depleted uranium missiles. People in Iraq are very sick from this. People in Syria, this is nothing to do with biological weapons, but it has to do with depleted uranium. And since many, many years, the US, but also Europe, because Europe is silent and a complicit of the US, is very quiet about all, actually we can say the murders they have conducted everywhere in the US, in the Middle East, now in Ukraine. So I think this whole has to stop, and before it gets any worse, and we will see many more pandemics going around. So thank you very much.
Огромное спасибо. Для меня, кстати, тоже было вот новое то, что вы